This is Normala. She works at a factory in Seremban. 10 days before her baby was due, she felt very sick. Her doctor told her to rest completely. Because of this, Normala asked to start her maternity leave 1 week early. But her supervisor, Mr. Bala, was not happy. He cared more about company factory targets than her health. Normala took over 90 days of maternity leave, but when the leave ended, she was still very sick. A doctor diagnosed her with postpartum psychosis, which is a severe mental illness after giving birth. The doctor gave her one more of medical leave. Sadly, her illness only got worse and more intense. Instead of helping her through his medical emergency, her employer sent her a firing letter. Normala and her husband believe this is cruel and illegal. Now they are fighting back and suing the company for unfair dismissal. Was the company allowed to do this? Or did they break the law? Let's look at the facts.
Mr. Bala, the doctor said I need 3 days of bed rest and I would like to start my maternity leave next week, which is 1 week before my due date.
1 week early, Normala. You can't see this production target. We are short-handed. You can't just leave early.
Let's move on to our first question. Does Mr. Bala have a point for his action?
There are 4 conditions that allow Normala to take her maternity leave, which is the first one is the 30 days rules, the medical reasons, the giving of notice, and a salary does not matter. Under Section 37(1)(b) of the Employment Act 1955, a female employee can choose when to start her maternity leave as long as it's within the 30 days before the expected date of confinement. Normala plans to start her leave 7 days before her due date, which is within the allowed 30-day periods, so it is legally valid. An employer can require an employee to start maternity leave within 14 days before confinement if a medical officer confirmed she is unfit to work due to pregnancy. In this case, Normala was advised by her doctor to take 3 days of bed rest, 10 days before her due date, showing medical support for early leave. Normala must inform her employer about her expected date of confinement and when she wants to start her leave, either verbally or in writing. Although the law suggests giving 60 days notice, failure to do so does not really affect her entitlement if there is a reasonable excuse. Normala is entitled to maternity protections regardless of her salary. After 2012 amendment, all female employees are under a contract of service are covered under these protections. In conclusion, Normala is allowed to start her maternity leave earlier because it is within the legal time frame and supported by medical advice.
Before we see what happened next to Normala, let's look at the bigger picture. What exactly is maternity protection under the Employment Act 1955?
Slide 7 highlights Malaysia's updated maternity framework. Under Section 37, female employees are entitled to 98 consecutive days of statutory leave. To qualify for a paid allowance, they must meet a dual service condition, a 90-day aggregate within the preceding 9 months and 4 months of employment prior to birth. Note that under Section 37, Clause 1, Clause C, this leave is entirely unpaid if the employee already has 5 or more surviving children. To safeguard mothers, Section 40, Clause 3 absolutely prohibits termination during maternity leave. Furthermore, Section 41A prohibits dismissal due to pregnancy or related illness unless there is gross misconduct, breach of contract, or business closure. Crucially, Section 41 Clause 2 shifts the burden to the employer to prove the dismissal was completely unrelated to her condition. Applying this to Normala, the employer's case collapsed. Her postpartum psychosis is a severe diagnosed illness, fully protected under Section 41A, Clause 1, as noted by Ashgar Ali 2023. Statutory rights override corporate performance metrics. The company termination is a clear statutory violation, leaving them heavily liable for unlawful dismissal. Thank you.
What is it, Normala?
It's a termination letter. They fired me because I'm sick.
This is where the employer commit a serious offence. Normala was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis, a severe illness arising from confinement.
Next, I will briefly discuss whether Normala employer has the right to terminate her under the Employment Act 1955. First, Normala had the legal right to start her maternity leave early. Under Section 37, a female employee can begin her leave within 30 days before her expected delivery date. So, her decision to take leave earlier based on medical advice was fully lawful. Second, the employee is not allowed to terminate her due to pregnancy-related illness. Under Section 42, if an employee is certified unfit for work because of a condition arising from pregnancy or childbirth, the employer cannot dismiss her. Third, Normala was still protected under the 90-day period after her maternity leave. This protection ensures that any pregnancy-related medical condition within this window cannot be used as a reason for termination. Finally, because the dismissal clearly violates statutory protections, Normala has strong grounds to claim unfair dismissal. She can file a claim under Section 20 of the Industrial Relations Act 1967 and seek remedies such as reinstatement or compensation. In conclusion, the employer does not have the legal right to terminate her, and the dismissal is unlawful. Thank you.
We are not letting this go. The law is on our side.
While Normala fight her legal battle, she is not left empty-handed. Because Normala's employer unlawfully fired her while she was suffering for a severe postpartum illness, she lost both her income and job security. However, under Malaysian law, she is eligible for 3 critical social benefits from SOCSO to protect her and her family. First is the invalidity scheme, which provides 24 hours protection for serious long-term illness that prevents someone from working. Since Normala's postpartum psychosis is worsening, she can be evaluated by SOCSO Medical Board. Once certified, she will receive a monthly invalidity pension for the rest of her life to replace her salary. Second are medical and rehabilitation benefit. Financially, this covers the high cost of psychiatric care, long-term medication and therapy, making it completely free of charge at the government hospital or SOCSO panel clinic. Once her condition stabilizes, she can enter Return to Work Program (PVRP). This provides her with free mental health counselling and actual vocational job training to help safely re-enter the workforce when she is fully recovered. Finally, because she received an unfair termination letter, she can access the Employment Insurance System (EIS). Normala has exactly 60 days from her dismissal date to file an EIS claim. She will receive the job search allowance, which gives her temporary monthly income support for up to 6 months. This starts at 80% of her salary in the first month and gradually decreases, giving her vital financial bridge so her and her family can survive while she focuses entirely on her mental health recovery. In summary, these 3 schemes ensure that even though her employer abandoned her, the law provides the cash, medical care and job protection Normala desperately needs.
In conclusion, The employer's action in this case are entirely unlawful. Under Section 37 Clause 1 Clause B of the Employment Act 1955, Normala was fully within her legal rights to commence her maternity leave early due to her medical condition. Mr. Bala production targets simply do not overrule the law. Furthermore, Section 42 Clause 1 strictly prohibits any company from dismissing a female employee while she is on certified medical leave for a pregnancy-related illness. Because the employer fired her while she was suffering from severe postpartum psychosis, they have violated the statutory post-maternity protection window. Ultimately, the company now faces several legal penalties. Normala has an incredibly strong, rock-solid case to sue for unfair dismissal under the Industrial Relations Act 1967. This case serves as a powerful reminder that employee health and statutory rights must always come before corporate targets.